Okay, so let's play this thing. And before we get started, let's actually cover a couple of production notes. This board is big, right? I can't get it all into the frame, and I don't think you necessarily need to see everything anyway. I want to keep the camera in the tripod as much as possible, so I'm not moving it a lot, but I will move it from time to time. I don't think you need to see the card deck or the dice rolls, and for the most part you don't need to see the records track. During scoring I'll show you the records track, but otherwise I'll be adjusting things up and down here without necessarily showing you. One note while we're here, just so I can explain some of my philosophy when I play, lessons learned. The game opened up a bit for me once I realized, when you go through this victory check procedure, right? I mean, 10 steps, and it's opaque. It's not obvious as to what is good or whatever. But what I realized is culture is a nice to have. Culture helps us during the game get things that help us. Okay, it's definitely good. It's definitely nice to have. But military points are a must-have. Military points versus enemy morale, those are your victory points. Okay, at the end of the game, the game ended right now, we would subtract the enemy morale from our military, and we would be at 0. And a 0 is a minor defeat. Okay, so what do we need? Sorry, bear with me. Let me double check here. Scenario 2, a +1 or +2 is a minor victory, and a +3 or higher is a major victory. Okay, so that's what we're focused on. And while we're here, let me cover everything else here. Ferocity is what we have to deal with in enemy battle. The APs are sort of, we have APs and then we have family MPs. I think of these as command action points and then family action points. Movement points for families is a little bit of a misnomer. Sure, they're used for movement, but they're also used for taking actions like raiding or planting corn. Okay, you're using those movement points. So families have 6 MPs to use, minus if they have any holes in the family display here. So usually they'll have 6, and then we use these command APs to preempt the enemy and to purchase trade goods, these guys here, which help us. And actually, on that note, one of the best things I did for myself was to make a handy dandy little reminder sheet, and in particular to list what trade goods can do, because it is very, very helpful to remind yourself that, oh yeah, 2 trade goods can cancel the flipping of an instruction. Maybe I don't want, in the enemy instruction phase, the peace instruction is going to flip to the other side. Maybe I don't want that to happen. I can cancel that. Or I can re-roll dice, or if I pull that damn green cube on a raid, I can put it back in and draw again. So this helped me a lot, having the trade goods. When you learn the game, there's just so much to absorb. And my first couple plays, I wasn't paying attention to what trade goods could do for me, but it's very important. So I suggest you make yourself something like that. I could post this to the Geek, but I actually suggest you make your own, because in the making of it, it'll help you absorb the information. All right. With all that said, we will all attempt a playthrough here. I have a specific method for managing cards. This is the resources box, and then up here is the current card box. I switch those. I like to have the current card a little bit closer to my aging eyes, and I will be putting the resources up in the current card box. I also have a little method here where I will put this on the card until he takes his action, and then take it off as a reminder to myself. I'll explain. Let's draw a card and I'll show you what's. Oops! Holy cow! Excuse me. We just had a major accident here. A, B, C, E. Okay. H, I, K. Ooh, that was fun. Okay. Ceremony card. All right. Well, these can be a double-edged sword, because if you choose, step 1 says suffer the enemy away effect of any ceremony cards that you have in your hand. We don't have any now. And then step 2 says, either discard it or add it to your hand and get an elder to the passage of time box, which is great. Then we can take a passage of time action later and get him in. Plus we have a guaranteed 6 die roll that we can use. That's all goodness, except the next time, if this is still in our hand, we haven't used that die roll, the next time it comes into our hand, we have to remove 2 women from family boxes if possible and place them in the passage of time. That is that's a tough one. Wow, remove 2 women from family. Now, we can take the passage of time and get them back. Okay. What the hell? Let's keep it. So we're going to keep it. I'm just putting it down on the table. That is considered my hand. And I'm going to add a man counter to the passage of time box. Okay. All right. That's all you do with a ceremony card. It's that simple. It's a one and done like that. All right. Now we have our first operations card. And the event on the operations card is if there's a firearms counter in the out of play box, put it into a resources. Otherwise, no event. All right, that's a good thing, right? That puts the firearms counter into play for us, which is a +2 in battle. Okay, so that's a good thing. And there's a man counter on this, so if we do want to choose the planning action, we may preempt for 2 APs. We start with 3 APs. Alright, so here's my system. I put this down in the resources box, and I put this on here. Okay, that tells me he hasn't acted. If I choose to preempt, I will invert the card. So that way, if I get distracted with the bathroom or a phone call or just my own thought process and I forget where we are, which as solitaire gamers, I'm sure you know what that's like, this can help me. So if I see this, I know that I preempted and he hasn't gone yet. If I see something like this, that tells me I did not preempt and he went already, it's probably my turn. Okay, so here's the decision before us. We may preempt and spend our APs. Of course, being the good gamers that we are, we like to hold on to our resources, our action points, but you don't know if the next card comes out is the Pueblo Revolt. And remember, the Pueblo Revolt is the first historical event card shuffled into the first 9 cards. So it's guaranteed to be one of the first 9. I've had it come out as early as the 2nd card of the game. So it could be the next card. If that comes out, we lose all of our APs as part of that process. At the same time, I like to push my luck a little bit in this game. So let's push our luck and not preempt. The difference is he's going to get 3 APs instead of getting 2. And he's going to do... Then again... he's going to get 3 subjugate actions. I mean... Yeah, I'm going to push our luck. Let's hold on to our APs. Let's not preempt. Let's let him go. Okay, now we have to deal with the enemy display. This is another little trick of mine because I tend to forget. I will try to put dice here as a reminder to myself to roll these before we do anything. Actually, the first step is to collect his APs. All right, and since we're not preempting, he gets 3. Then he gets +1 for any in the subjugation of New Mexico box, any red cubes up here, or any cubes at all, I guess, up here. He doesn't. There's no cubes here, and then he gets -1 for any here. So he gets 3. So I'm just going to give him 3 APs, and actually then reduce them down to 0 because he's going to. Well, I'm assuming he's going to spend them. It depends what happens with these dice. 4 and 5. Okay, so 5 has a stripe on it, so it cannot flip. 4 does not have a stripe, it can flip. If I had rolled doubles, so 2 4s, they would simply swap places, nobody would flip. Alright, but these 2 weren't affected, so yeah, he's going to spend all 3 of his APs to do 3 subjugate actions. Subjugate is just when you pull from the raid bag, okay? I pull 3 cubes. And 1, 2, 3. Hey, that's a pretty damn good pull. And that's another good reason to let him go first, because if he pulls that green cube, that means we are going to go raid crazy. All right, I'm happy with this. Now these go into the recovery box, which is pretty much limbo. They don't detract APs from him in the collect APs phase, but nor do they go back into the bag for us to re-pull. So they're kind of in limbo. But like I said, that's a good thing right now because he pulled the green. Okay, that's pretty cool. So let's take this off. That means he acted. Now it's our turn to act. At the very start of the game, I like to take an action with the very first move, and I'll tell you why. There's one very specific reason why. Because the next card, like I said, it could be the Pueblo Revolt scoring card. Now when a scoring card comes out, you don't necessarily have to take a scoring round. You can choose to forego going through all the scoring. But that is negative in two ways. Number one, you have to take a black cube out of this bag here, and black cubes are good for us when we raid because they're the animal of our choice, and you have to put it into the Subjugation of New Mexico box up here, which is an extra action point for him when he collects APs, plus it's +1 VP at the end of the game. I mean, it's called good medicine. It is bad medicine as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how you could do that and win this game. Maybe I'm not veteran enough to know how to do that, but I have no interest in doing good medicine. So that's one bad thing. Number two, remember our cunning cultural development card and these other cultural development cards? The only time in the game when you can buy these cultural development cards is during a scoring round. That's one of the steps. Okay. One of the other steps is to discard half of your people over here. So it's good and bad, but for the most part, I find it to be good. All right. So what is the point of that? Well, when that comes out, we're going to want to choose the VP, the scoring round. All right, and it's an 8-point check, which we just know, and we have to compare our VPs to that. You get VPs for every territory that you have families in. So we have a family in Shiprock, that's 4. We have a family in San Juan, that's 3. And we have a family in the Canyon de Chelly, and that's worth 0. It's a relatively safe area of the board. It doesn't suffer drought, but on the downside, it offers us no VPs. So if that scoring card comes out, we're going to compare the 8 of the card to our 7, and we're going to be negative, and we're going to start falling behind in terms of VPs right off the bat. I don't want that. So I like to, with my very first action, get this guy into any other territory on the board. Well, not any other. We don't want him to go here or here because we already have families there. Okay, so you don't get double VPs if you have 2 families. So getting him here, this territory is worth 2. This one's worth 3 actually, and this one up here is worth 2. Now there's another catch. There are events in the game, major events that come out, that will say, roll a die, and 1 to 4 there's a war here, and 5 to 6 there's a war here. And if you have a family in either one of those, yoink, it gets removed from the board. And it goes into the passage of time, I think, and then you can get it back. But still, that's not really a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and move family C. Well, slow down. So we are going to take the take actions option, right, as opposed to planning or passage of time. So all 3 families are going to activate. We can activate as many families as we have elders on the display and families in the Canyon de Chelly. So we could actually activate 4 families. We only have 3. I'm going to move C up to here. But we'll do him last. Let's do our other 2 families first. Now, I checked on BGG, and I confirmed that that I can raid even if I drive his ferocity up to -3, which is the max, and I can keep going. So I wasn't sure if once a family's, every time you raid, your ferocity goes up 1, right? So you raid 3 times, you're at -3, you're at 3 ferocity already, +3 ferocity. But that doesn't mean you have to stop. That's what I confirmed on BGG. So what I'm going to do, the green cube is out of our way. we can raid with impunity. We don't have to worry. When the green cube comes out, it's good for him. We either have to fight him or increase his morale, which is victory points for him, which is usually what I do because we're in no position to fight the Spanish. But with the green out of the way, I say we spend all 6 of Family A's movement points to raid. And the cost, for those not familiar, is all the spaces between the family and Santa Fe inclusive, and you don't move the family. So for example, if he were here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That would cost to raid. So I set him here, so hey, all it is 1, and again 1, so we can raid 6 times. So that is what we're going to do with Family A. It's going to drive his ferocity up to 3, so I have to get his other counter that has 3, and you'll notice, or maybe you won't, but so his ferocity is at 3, and his evasion is at -1. So when a raid happens, it's going to be hard for him to not get caught. We absolutely positively do not want our families to get caught during raids. That gives him VPs, okay? But that's okay. I've got a plan for, hopefully, for mitigating our ferocity back down to 0 before that happens. Right now, let's go hell-bent for leather and go raiding, okay? So, you're supposed to pull 1 at a time, but with the green one out of the way, I don't think that's... I'll just do it. 1, okay, white is a sheep. 2, that's good for him. 3, black is animal of our choice. 4, that's a child slave, or volunteer if you prefer. 5 is another animal of our choice. Come on, gang. Oh, nice. Nice. That went about as well as we could have hoped for. Okay, so let's bear with me here. The red goes into the subjugation box, and that's going to give him +1 action point. And these all go here, but those are going to give him -1 action point. So we made out on that. All right, now let's collect our goodies. Most things go into the resources box. The white is a sheep, and then the other 3 are the animal of our choice. Why don't we collect 3 horses? Let's get 3. Well, you need sheep to... You do need sheep to feed. Alright, we'll balance ourselves out, because I'm such a balancer. Okay, so we collected 2 horses, 2 sheep, and then we get a child counter, okay, down here into the passage of time display. So this is building up, and that's good. We'll want to take a passage of time and get those into play. And when you take a passage of time, you have to feed your people, so it's good to have some sheep on hand. I'm still debating if actually we don't need that many sheep at this point and we want to take another horse. Yeah, okay. You know what? We're gonna take another horse just to keep our people mobile. So when we can grab these at any time. So when we put a horse into the family box, right, into the family's horse thing. So when we put one into the family box, the family gets to move the parenthesized number. So it reduces movement costs drastically. Okay, let's do that. All right, that was Family A. So that was all of Family A's 6 movement points. Now Family B is immediately going to grab a horse. I'm going to put a horse into the Family B family display box, which now means they can move the parentheses number, so 1 instead of 2. So they can go 1, 2, 3 and raid twice. And I say we do that because, again, we don't have to worry about the green. So let's just pull 2. Damn it. All right, well, we got a sheep. Okay, so we got a sheep, and then another red goes up there for him. And then that goes into the raided cubes box. That drives Family B's ferocity up to level 2. And that was 6 action points for him. That leaves us with Family C over here. And like I said, I want to move him, and I don't want to move him into either of these quite yet because I don't want it to deal with that event. So we'll give Family C a horse, and he's going to move just up here and hang out. So that costs 1. Now he's got 5 action points left, but there's really not much he can do with those, unfortunately. He could plant corn. That costs 4 plus the value of the territory, and the horse number doesn't matter in that case for planting corn. So 4 plus 2 is 6, and he already spent 1 to move, so he can't do that. He can't do a long distance raid because that costs all of his movement points. He's already spent 1. I can't do tribal council. That costs all of his MPs. Yeah, he's pretty much done. So we're going to just waste his other 5, but that's okay because now if Pueblo Revolt comes out, we've got 4, 3, 2, we've got 9, and we're in good shape. All right, that was a good first turn. That was a good first turn. That's a good first turn. Now, when a third red cube comes out, his morale goes up, which is a VP, which sucks. But you know what? There's no avoiding it. It's going to happen in the game. All right, I'm going to read this card off screen here. Oh yeah, this was it said if there's the major event is put the firearms counter in play. So when we have a battle, a family can grab that and use that. And then roll to see which territory suffers drought. You'll be doing that a lot in this game. 5. Okay. So that was Hopi Land. So Hopi Land gets a drought counter. It reduces the arability and makes it harder to harvest corn. I'll show you that later when it's relevant. All right. On to turn 2. Next card. Oh, it's another ceremony card. All right, so step 1 of the ceremony card, is to resolve the enemy away effect on all of our other cards, and then this will give us another elder if we want, and a 5. All right, so first of all, let's remove 2 women from family boxes and place them in passage of time. Well, that sucks. Okay, so our decision here, crap, that's going to reduce family movement points. So I'm trying to think who's going to move. I don't think Family C is going to move for a while. We already moved him where I want him, so Family C can lose lose their woman, and then between Family A and B up there, I guess we'll move Family B. He's closer, so he's going to want to get out of the way sooner. So Family B is going to lose their woman. So you can see the push your luck aspect of that. Remove 2 women. All right, and then if we take this new ceremony card, we get an elder and a guaranteed 5, and then the enemy way effect is remove a trade goods counter from play if possible. Well, we don't have any trade goods up here in our resource box, so that's not so scary. So we're going to take that as well, and we are going to add an elder counter to the passage of time box. All right, let's go back here and let's pull another card. Yeah, this can happen in this game. This can totally happen. So we have to suffer both enemy away effects. Now we said the one was remove a trade good counter. We don't have any, so that doesn't hurt us. The other one, remove 2 women from family boxes if possible and place them in the passage of time. Player makes. All right, so we're going to lose our 3rd woman because that's the only other. We only had one woman left. So okay, I don't know. This is this game. You're going to get your paint scratched. That's what I remind myself. And then this card is offering us a child and a 1. Hey, in for a penny, in for a pound, right, gang? So we're going to keep it, and we're going to grab a child. Now this passage of time box is looking awesome, except when you consider that 3 of them are just replacements. So really what we have is 2 children and 2 elders. And that's still not a bad haul. We very well might want to consider if we get a... Oh, I hope the scoring card doesn't come out next. Oh, I really don't want that. Well, there's no point in me talking about it. Let's just see what happens. All right, here we go. And oh my God, it's another ceremony card. Oh, actually, this isn't so bad, is it? Because remove a trade goods counter, so we have to suffer all the enemy way effects. Remove a trade goods counter, there are none. Remove 2 women from family boxes if possible. Well, there's none left. And this is remove a man from play. Oh, that's awful. It's not, and it's not to the passage of time, as with the one that had us remove the women, said put them in the passage of time. This is just remove a man from play. I'm starting to maybe think that this was a mistake. And this one is going to give us a woman counter if we keep it, and you know I'm keeping it. I'm all in. And then if the enemy way effect is placed 2, look, 1, 2, out of the first 5 cards, 4 of them are ceremonies. They've got to stop. It's got to slow down. I'm going to put a woman counter in here. Oh, man. All right, so that's starting to build up. And I bet you this is the scoring card, right? No, it's an operations card. Hey, that's cool. So, yeah, maybe we should take a passage of time and get all these people back. Because if the scoring card... Oh... I forgot what a risk I was running there. If the scoring card had come out, we would have had to discard half of these, our choice, but we would have had to have discarded half. Holy crap. This was a pretty bizarre start. 4 ceremony cards in a row after the first operations. And then if that scoring card had come out, that would have been just tragic. But it wasn't. So you know what? We're going to definitely do a passage of time and get these people out of here, because we know that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That scoring card is going to come out. By the way, the major event on this card says roll the die for the war. Okay, there's a couple of those in this deck, so I know that. So we don't have to worry about a family getting removed. Although that wouldn't have been so bad, because we would have just put them right back. That's an interesting point. I hadn't considered that. If you follow me here, if we had a family here, if I had moved him down to here, and then that happened, he would get removed into the box. But so what? We were going to do passage of time. Instead, we're going to lose a culture, but whatever. Whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Do we want to preempt him? And I forgot to adjust the enemy display box here. So these are like this. I tell you what, I'm going to stop here, upload this, and consider if we want to go ahead and preempt. I know we're absolutely positively going to do a passage of time and get out while the getting's good. The question is, I'm going to do the math on the APs and figure out how that's going to work. So I'll be back in a little bit.